Delighted to be joined by Noel Holohan and Billy Dodd to pick this week's Glen Fuels Player of the Week. So, first of all, Billy, who were the standout players for you this weekend?
In the senior grade this week, Peter, I thought that, as usual, Brian Malone, Mr. Consistency, was top class for Shelmaliers all over the field. He was full forward at one stage, he was centre back another stage. His brother Glenn played very well. And, of course, Graham Staples scoring a goal from cornerback. I thought in the second game, the second semi-final, Gussaran, I thought particularly Mark Rossiter was brilliant. You know, he scored a cracking goal when it mattered, even though we got him mixed up in the commentary and our excitement. But I thought he was very good, and I thought John Roach deserved a special mention because he'd been through a lot the last couple of weeks. He had been sick leading up to one of their previous games, and he lost his grandmother the week before as well. So it's tough to perform when a lot of things are going wrong off the field, and people tend to forget that. But I thought he put in a great performance for Gussaran. And in the intermediate, I didn't see the second game. I saw St Mary's Mullintown winning on penalties against Duffy Rovers. A great game of football. I thought it was very exciting, very entertaining. You were commentating on it, Peter, and I think you'd agree. But I think their goalkeeper Dylan Owens did a fantastic job. Saving 2 penalties. I thought Eddie Pittman played well, and Jamie Thomas was outstanding for him. And then in another game that unfortunately I was at on Friday night, I thought Mikey Fogarty, he scored 2-2 for St Anne's against the own club Sarsfields in the relegation playoff. A magnificent contribution from a great servant to the club. So I think he deserves special mention too.
And Noel, who would you have to add to that then?
Yeah, I suppose I agree with Billy on all of those lads. I mean, especially Mikey there in the last one. I mean, for 2-2 in a relegation final. Relegation final is probably as important, or nearly as important as a county final in some ways. I just maybe mentioned Kenneth Cole and Killian Keogh for Gussaran. I think Kenneth probably went off after 40 or 45 minutes. But for the time he was out there, he did Trojan work, and he's a real workhorse for the team there. And Sam Audsley would probably be a lad from the St Martin's point of view that played well there, tried hard, and they just didn't get the rub of the green. I think the shooting boots, they didn't bring their shooting boots on the day, St Martin's, and then you had Sean Ryan and Mark Rossiter were the keys in terms of seeing the game out for Gussaran. Glen Malone is probably another lad you could add in from the Shelmaliers point of view in that game. But I'd be happy to back any of the lads that Billy said there. I know we've discussed it there, but there's a few good contenders there this week. It wasn't those senior games. There was no real out and out player of the match sort of lads, but they were all solid, really good performances in semi-finals, where it's normally not the easiest place to perform because it's a real pressure game.
And I just have a couple of extra lads to add from across the Beg Ballymurn point of view. I thought Paddy Devericks was really, really very good. From a Duffy Rovers point of view, they were only beaten on penalties. If they had won the penalty shootout, we'd probably be naming 4 or 5 of their lads. Maybe it's strange the way the mind works when a team gets beaten with such a small margin. But I think Aidan Byrne and John Dunn were really very good for the Duffy Rovers. But we've had a good discussion both on air there and off air as well. We think this week's is probably the tightest that we've had to pick so far. And this week's Glen Fuels Player of the Week is going to be St Mary's Modlintown goalkeeper Dylan Owens. He saved 2 penalties in the penalty shootout. His kickouts were laser-like. He was solid under the high ball. And we think he put in a very solid performance for St Mary's Modlintown. So congratulations to Dylan Owens.